Toga, 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 toga,
Hello, Billy Ho here. Welcome to opening weekend at Saratoga Racecourse. They got racing underway today. So, welcome to my channel, Billy Ho Sports. Appreciate you joining me. This weekend, we have multiple big time stakes races at the Toga. And the Diana G1 will lead the way, and that's basically a Chad Brown scrimmage game. We only got 5 horses. I'm really not going to emphasize that race all that much. We will definitely talk about it, but I think the other 2 races, the Kelso and the Sanford grade 3s, are much more interesting, much more competitive. So I'm going to deep dive into them more, maybe some more values, all that good stuff as well. So we're going to stick around and get it done. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Race to 1,000 subs. We are almost there. And I appreciate everybody that's already subscribed. Smash that like. And we are going to get started right now. All right, the first race we're going to talk about is the Sanford. It is a 6-furlong sprint for 2-year-olds. And we start with the number 1, Call the Cavalry, Kenny McPeaks from the 1 post. Pretty much most or all these horses won their debuts. Lightly raced 2 horses, obviously. But Call the Cavalry, he won his debut in spite of a bobble at the break, which kind of led to this 4 speed figure you see here, the 71. But he handled himself pretty well. Gonna be coming back for this next race, so he'll have Irad Ortiz to help him improve his second go around. And the number 2 horse Jive is a Philip Serp. Claimed this horse after he won his debut. And most of these, like I said, won theirs. Serp is 20% after the maiden win. So solid choice here. 12-1 might hasn't raced in 57 days though. So we'll have to take that into account for these youngsters. The 3 horses Dickens, and he's trained by Juan Alvarado. He won his debut with an 86 speed figure, which is actually second best to the heavily favored horse we will speak of just shortly, so stick around. 4 horse Yo-Yo Candy, trained by Daniel Velasquez, was beaten in his second after, let's see, take a look at here. Yo-Yo Candy won his debut, beaten, but he was a long shot, stepped up to the Tremont, ran third by 10. So but that was the favorite coming up. So excuse me if I'm jumping around a little bit too much. I'm trying to get my head organized here. Bear with me. The 5 horse is Factor You and Me In, trained by Ed Coletti. He was given 2 months off after his wonky looking win. Likely a toss in my book. 6 horse Ramming Speed, trained by Kevin Rice. Another likely toss. Poor record from the all-weather tracks to dirt. Barbara Minshall trains the 7 horse Triple Tray. And Triple Tray is another pass, I think. Poor graded stakes record for the trainer. And the 78 speed figure is not going to be quite up to par with the rest of these. I think the same goes for Rafael Romero's His Rights, the 8 horse. And what I wanted to do, of course, this is for poor speed figures and poor shipper. So pass there. Gold Sweep is obviously your overwhelming favorite. 3 to 5 morning line odds, fastest horse in the race, and has something that I like when these youngsters are going out. He's already got 2 races under his belt. He lost his debut just by a neck with a late bid at 5 furlongs, and then stretches out to 5.5 and blows them out by 9 handily. So you got to love that about this horse. So Steve Asmussen trained, Jose Ortiz will ride. And then the last one is the 10 Market Street, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. He's going to drastically need to improve off that 71 he ran in his debut win. So I'll probably pass, looking for better in that one. And as we make our way over to the betting calculator, what we are going to be looking at here is I'm going to single this is not the one I wanted. I'm singling the 9 gold sweep, like I said, and then we're just going to go over the top of the 1, 2, 3, 4 for a trifecta. Because I kind of like the way these the top 4 horses looked. Call the Cavalry, Call the Cavalry, and Jive, Dickens, and Yo-Yo Candy. So that's going to do it for the Sanford. And then the next up, we're going to go straight toward the Dirty Diana. And bear with me just a second while I pull her up. And of course, like I said, we only got a 5-horse field, and 4 of them are trained by Chad Brown. We will. I'm going to show a few of the past performance races in this one, since it's the big G1, and see if we can't beat this favorite coming up here in just a second. But Fev Rover is trained by Mark Cassidy. He is the lone other trainer, and he's thinks this Fev Rover can compete with the other 4 Chad Brown horses, which I like that about Mark Cassidy. He's not afraid to take on challengers. So 101 speed in the Nassau Grade 2 we're looking at right now. Fev Rover falls back into the rear for most of this race, but then hitting the turn for home, closes for the win, and it was a really nice ride by jockey Patrick Husbands, which that we are going over. I think, in my opinion, an upgraded jock to Javier Castellano, but Husbands patiently rode this horse, handled him quite well, keeping him steady Eddie throughout the race, and then closed hard for the win. So you got to love that. And then, okay, here's the one we got to beat right here, In Italian, and was last year's winner of the Diana, returning to defend her title. Chad Brown trained, was a most impressive race. We're looking at it right now. Pretty much like all her efforts. I mean, you can look all the wins she's strung together in her career. Such an impressive horse, 5-year-old. It's rinse and repeat. She goes right out to the lead, never looks back. And she does the same thing a month ago in the Just a Game Stakes. And she will have Irad Ortiz aboard. So that's always a good thing. So the one to beat, obviously. Number 3, Market Segmentation. Just recently won the Grade 1 New York Stakes. We'll look at that too. And this race was over before it started. They let this horse go right out to the lead and sit down uncontested. And by the time they hit the 3/4 at 1:15, they were no shot to catch her down the stretch. And she's not going to see that kind of slower pace. As you can see here, the -6, as I've mentioned in previous videos, favors the front runners. So look out for that. And then number 4, Fluffy Socks, which I dig the name. 96 in her win, and +12 was a much faster pace, as you can see. She was able to close and win. So the 5-year-old filly, she looked good back in May, winning this Churchill Downs Distaff. She is the 7 horse, and she takes a perfect stalking trip in this position throughout. Irad stays inside. She splits the rivals up the gut. Only Irad can pull something like that off, and just took that one down. That was just her first start of the season, so I expect her to move forward. So I do like that, and I think this is kind of a and then took another couple of months, but that's not a big deal. I mean, it was just the 6th of May, and it's we're not that far off from that. So looking good there. Fluffy Socks, the 5 horses, White Beam, and I'm not so sure about this one, but she's a lovely gray. Recently won the Grade 3 Galleret on Preakness Day at Pimlico. Great performance as she breaks from the one post, gets out quickly, and then she's ready for the drive home, and she just blows out the rivals. So basically, what I'm looking at, I'm not even going to go to the betting calculator. What I'm probably going to try to do is put together some sort of value win bet on this race. I haven't decided if I want to just go away from Chad Brown, since he wins every year, and then maybe once every 6 years he doesn't. Maybe so we get the Mark Cassidy Fev Rover up there at 12-1 morning line. I think that might make a nice little win bet there. So interesting race to watch, but not that much competition as far as the horses go. So my favorite race actually is going to be this ninth race is the Kelso. It is 1 mile on the turf, grade 3. And we have 8 horses in the field, and then we have a ninth. Gunnet is entered for main track only. And I checked just a quick glance at the weather, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day at the spa. So I doubt we see Gunnet. So we're probably just going to have the 8 horses. Number 1, we'll start with English B, 20-1, breaking from the 1 post. The first of 2 horses that ran at Churchill Downs in the opening verse listed stakes. So he breaks out of the 10 spot and gets out fast. I love horses from English Channel, and then on the other side, and it's not from, I know it's like the daughter of English, or I mean son of English Channel, but anyway, so I don't get corrected by the masses. Kitten's Joy on the other side, that's good turf breeding. But 89 wasn't really all that in the last race, but it ran a better race. It just weakened down the stretch for some reason. Not really a good explanation on why, but the previous race was that opening verse, which ran with Annapolis, which is the next horse I'll talk about. So not ready to take a look at English B just yet, but Annapolis is the next horse, and it's been off for a little over 2 months, but breaking out of the 2 post, 8-5 favorite. Everything looks good for this horse. So it was a good effort by English B in that race, but Annapolis was an excellent effort to win that opening verse. So as you can see, we watched it just now. Next horse is the 3 Midday Range, trained by David Jacobson, ran 3rd in the Laurel Das Stakes. He could improve with the stretch out from 6 furlongs to a mile. He was the beaten favorite in that race by lesser competition, but his speed figures are comparable. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Midday Image. Let's see, where was I? He was beaten favorite in that last race by lesser competition. His speed figures are comparable to his, and his best speed figure is, I believe, the fastest among this group. But that was well over a year ago. You can see the 104 way down here, but may improve returning to the route. So not a bad horse, offers some value. I think I have some interest in this horse, actually. So we'll keep an eye on that. 4 horses, Ice Chocolate. Excuse me. 1 of 2 entered for Mark Cassie, and this one ran in the G1 Japer, finishing 6th. He was the number 6 horse in that race. From the back of the pack, he saved ground, but he got kind of caught on the inside and wasn't able to find the room to get out there. So fell back and improved some, but should improve off of that effort. I think had a sharp 4 furlong work July 6th. So that's always a good thing leading up to race time. And then probably I'm going to actually skip up to Casa Creed, the 8 horse, because I think, of course, it ran in that same Japer, and it ran a solid 3rd. Had a shot to win heading for home, but I believe he was just could not catch up with the winner in this one. So you can see it by the stretch run there. It was his first start on American soil this year, 3rd start of the season. So I'm expecting improvement. And obviously you can look at all the great comments. I always love these comments. Highest speed figure at today's distance is always a good thing. Eligible to improve in the 2nd start since the layoff. So returning to a route, highest ratings, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm definitely got interest in Casa Creed. And let's see, should be ready to stretch back out. I think the 5 horses, Christopher Clement's Big Everest. So we're back down here to the 5. Here we go. Most recently went wire to wire in the Cliffhanger Stakes at Monmouth. He ran quite the efficient race, broke right to the lead, rated, respond willingly, all that good stuff. 2 for 2 this year and has 4 straight wins going back to last year. That's strong. He's stepping up in class as he has never raced in a graded stakes event. So that is going to be a tough ask, but showing a lot of speed in all his efforts, which is good as well. The 6 horse, Filo di Ariana, second by a neck in its last race, is the other Mark Casse entry. We don't want to jinx this horse by any means. He has 2 seconds in 2 tries this season. He most recently ran third in the Grade 3 Poker Stakes, and it was a strong front-running effort. He handled the challenge from the 1 to 2 favorite, but just couldn't hold off the 6 horse Emmanuel in that race. So solid horse. I think he's going to be in the pool. Number 7, Anaconda, also will be in the pool. Hint, hint. Anaconda rounds out the field from the 7 post, as we've already spoke on the 8. He is also exiting the Grade 3 Poker, and he ran 4th. He was the 5 horse, and he got off slow and spotted the field a few lengths to begin. So then he hurried up to 3rd and was only to be restrained again. So, horses love that. They had to ask him to take off and then try to pull him back. That's always great. And then try to ask him again down the stretch. But he was in good position, and he could have made a run inside, actually, and got pinched off and couldn't get through. So that could have been a close one. So I do have some interest in Anaconda, the old big snake. So now we will go over to take a look at the wager calculator. And this is just a first look. I don't know if I'm going to include the 7. I think the odds are going to be spread out, honestly. So my first look was going to be a 258 over 25678. I think that's not horribly bad. It's a $12 exacta bet. And if the odds are spread out, it should pay pretty good. Obviously, you can just bump that up and get the whole $2. Either way it goes. So that's going to do it for the show. I certainly do appreciate everybody joining me. More to come. We got Travers, Haskell, all kinds of good stuff, top stakes races coming down the road, and we will be covering all of that good stuff. Race to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate everybody joining me today. Thanks again. See you soon.